The Fleischmann's Yeast Hour, directed by Rudy Vallee, with Paul Lukas, Peggy Conklin, George Givott, and Frank Fay.
Hi-ho, everybody. This is Rudy Vallee and Company. I've been wondering recently if we haven't perhaps become a little too casual in the way we tell you about our guests each week at this point. We've usually avoided superlatives, partly because almost everyone else goes in for high-powered ballyhoo, and partly because superlatives wear out too quickly when you have important people to talk about every week. Perhaps we've overdone the modest manner, however. So permit me to give out 3 rousing adjectives: swell, grand, and marvelous for this week's cast, which includes
George Givott, proprietor of Acropolis Number 7. Paul Lukas and Peggy Conklin, In the Pursuit of Happiness. The Continental's Octet from At Home Abroad. And Frank Fay, the People's Choice for Comedian of the Year in 1936.
To the orchestra and vocal ensemble, we add for this week only in one number the rhythmical tapping feet of Miss Lacathia Collis of Lexington, Kentucky. A novelty and a discovery of importance, if I'm any judge. And so, gentlemen and the Stewart sisters, let us get to work.
Everything to rhythm with my heart. Everything to rhythm with my heart. The birds and the bees and the plants and the trees and the wind and the breeze are all in rhythm.
Everything's in rhythm with my heart. The flowers that grow and the breezes that blow seem to go with the flow of my song. And the song I sing's in rhythm with my heart. Every creature seems to take a part. The birds in the sky keep in time when they fly way up high as they migrate in spring. Even spring begins in rhythm with my heart. Makes no difference where I go, on land or on sea. All hearts are dancing with me, they understand. Everyone's in tempo, even children at play. The world is happy and gay. It's grand, oh.
Everything's in rhythm with my heart. The rhythm is sweet, even crowds in the street move their feet to the beat of my song.
Everything's in rhythm with my heart. One of the notable advances in revue production on Broadway in the past 3 or 4 seasons has been the introduction of a specially trained choral and dance groups to replace or supplement the standard chorus girl, chorus boy setup of other years. We have with us this evening, for example, one such group from At Home Abroad, the Continentals, an octet of expert singers trained by Mr. Roy Campbell. They sing for us their show arrangement of Love is a Dancing Thing, the Continentals.
Heavenly dawn, a day is done to waltz time, and a night is like a nocturne in tune with all creation. Musical earth and lyrical stars blend to make my dream I could capture this wonderful
Love is a dancing thing, gay as a Mayday.
I'm in the heyday of it.
Love is a dancing thing. Up-dee-da-da-dee-da. It's dancing my life heart away. When lips entrancing came like a spring song. I heard the sing song of it. Love is a romancing my life heart.
They say that good things go in threes. Therefore, after following in a little gypsy tea room with On Treasure Island, Messrs. Burke and Leslie hope that they have rung the gong again with this lovely Hawaiian thought. In a little rendezvous in Honolulu. rendezvous in Honolulu, the silvery moon was gleaming. My heart was filled with sweet content when heaven sent me you. In a little rendezvous in Honolulu, your golden smile was beaming. It helped to make that golden strand a wonderland for two. With eyes ablaze, we'd sit and gaze on that Hawaiian sea. The rippling foam would ripple home and kiss the shore when you'd kiss me. In a little rendezvous in Honolulu, where nights are made for dreaming. Oh, let me dream forevermore along that shore with you.
Down on the islands of Hawaii, where skies of blue are calling me, where balmy air and moonlit waters caress the waving palms of Waikiki.
In a little rendezvous in Honolulu, where nights are made for dreaming. Oh, let me dream forevermore along that shore with you.
No wife likes to stay at home night after night after doing housework all day long. So it's not much wonder that this wife's patience has finally run out.
Tom, that's the third invitation I've had to turn down this week on account of you. I don't know what's come over you lately. We used to give parties and have friends and go places. But now you're always too tired to do anything.
If your energy has been running low, as often happens during this long winter season, if you're so fatigued in the evening you hate to budge from your chair, chances are you're suffering from a run-down condition. That unnatural, tired feeling comes from your muscles and nerves not getting enough nourishment from your blood. To help correct this trouble, eat 3 cakes of Fleischmann's yeast every day. It will invigorate your digestive system so that your food will be digested better. Then your blood will carry more nourishment to the nerves and muscles throughout your system. And when that happens, you'll have more energy and zest for doing things. After a day's work, you'll still have something left for your social life. Your wife will be more likely to say,
Tom, it's great to have you feeling good so we can be seeing our friends again.
Mr. Gershwin's personal commentation of our version of I's Got Plenty of Nothin' from Porgy and Bess emboldens us to repeat it. Oh, I got plenty of nothing, and nothing's plenty for me. Well, I got no car, got no mule, I got no misery. Dear folks with plenty of plenty got the lock on the door. Afraid somebody's going to rob 'em while they's out a-making mo. What for? I got no lock on the door, that's no way to be. They can steal the rug from the floor. That's okay with me, 'cause the things that I prize, like the stars in the sky, is all out real. I got plenty or nothing, and not seems plenty for me. Well, I got my gal, got my song, got heaven the whole day long. Ha! No use complaining. Got my gal, got my loud, got my song. I got plenty of nothing, and nothing plenty for me. Well, I got the sun, I got the moon, got the deep blue sea. The folks with plenty of plenty got to pray all the day. Seems with plenty you sure got to worry how to keep the devil away. I ain't a-frettin' about hell till the time arrive. Never worry long as I'm well. Never want to strive to be good, to be bad. What the hell, I's glad I's alive. Oh, I got plenty of nothing, and nothing's plenty for me. Well, I got my gal, got my song, got heaven the whole day long. Ah! No use complaining. Got my gal, got my love, got my soul. Presenting now Mr. Paul Lukas and Miss Peggy Conklin in a sketch based on the Paramount movie version of a famous Broadway hit, The Pursuit of Happiness. Of Hollywood's many importations from Central Europe, none has been so consistently successful over such a lengthy period as Paul Lukas. To name his pictures since his arrival here at the beginning of the talkie era would take most of the hour. Personally, I like best his fine characterizations as the professor in Little Women and as the lawyer in The Age of Indiscretion. Miss Conklin, leading lady with Leslie Howard on Broadway last season, is now well on her way to movie stardom. Tonight she plays the role she created in the stage production of The Pursuit of Happiness. Paul Lukas and Peggy Conklin.
Place, America. Time, 1776. The American colonies are engaged in their fight for independence. Opposed to them are not only the British forces, but the Hessians' mercenary troops. On the prosperous Connecticut farm of Aaron Kirkland, there is a great to-do. A young Hessian has been discovered and captured in Aaron's barn. And as our play begins, he is being questioned in the Kirkland living room by Aaron and Captain Sherwood, a Virginian officer. Captain Sherwood speaks.
Now, sir, what's your name?
Maximilian Leopold Friedrich Christmann.
What?
Oh, you can just call me Max. May I perhaps write it for you, Herr Offizier?
No, I'll do it myself.
All right. My rank, Private, Regiment von Minnegerode, arrived New York, April 4th, 1776.
Wait a moment. Am I conducting this examination, or you?
Oh, pardon, meine Herr.
How is it you speak English so well?
My father was, what you say, a reverend. I lived as a boy in England.
A likely story, Aaron. A Hessian lived in England. Why did you desert?
Because I like better the Americans, meine Herr.
Then why are you fighting us?
Well, they said to me, what do you want to do? You shoot Americans or we shoot you?
Well,
what would you do? I was young. I did not want to die.
sounds reasonable to me. So you decided to shoot Americans?
No, I always missed them, mein Herr. I was a bad bargain for the gentleman who engaged me.
I suppose you think we should welcome you deserters.
Of course you should.
Why, Prudy.
You have no right to talk to this young gentleman this way, Captain Sherwood. Didn't General Washington himself promise the Hessians land and money if they would join forces with us?
She's right, Captain. The message was in the tobacco sacks our spies sold to the Hessian troops.
Of course, I have such an invitation here.
You see?
Max, this is my daughter, Prudence.
I'm charmed, Fräulein.
I too, sir. And despite your ungracious treatment at the hands of Captain Sherwood and my father, I must ask you not to think too unkindly of America.
Oh, but I love it, this America of yours. Particularly do I love your Declaration of Independence. See, it is written here on the opposite side of the invitation from your General Washington, and it is wunderschön. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain
inalienable.
Thank you, Fräulein. Inalienable rights. That among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That means the running after happiness, yeah?
Yeah.
Ah, what a country. I like it so much. Everybody is to run after happiness. What a promise for humanity. For that I would gladly fight, Herr Offizier.
Bravo. Well said, Max.
Not so fast, not so fast. How do we know this isn't some devilish trick?
Look at the man, Captain. Look at his eyes. With such a face as that, could he be the hatcher of plots and deviltries?
Well...
If there's a doubt in your mind, there isn't in mine.
Nor mine.
I thank you both so much, Fräulein.
Well, Aaron, what do you suggest doing with him?
You can parole him in my charge. I'll be responsible for him.
That's mighty irregular. But look here. Will you give your word as a gentleman that you won't try to escape if we don't place you under guard?
Why should I escape? If I escape to the British, they will shoot me. And if I escape to another place, you will shoot me. And besides, I think I shall like it very much. So, natürlich, I stay here.
Well, that's that.
Suppose we drink on it.
An excellent idea.
Prudence, the glasses.
Yes, Father.
Captain, here's to life.
And liberty.
And to the running after happiness.
And so Max, supposedly a prisoner but actually a welcome guest, stays on in the home of Aaron Kirkland, while between Max and Prudence there develops a romance so tender and as beautiful as the love song which, as our action begins again, he has just sung for her, a German love song.
Max, what does Liebchen mean?
You are Liebchen. Someday I will make this song in English for you.
For me?
Yes. Because you were so kind to me the first day I came here.
Well, that was nothing, sir.
It was a lot to me. I was a prisoner, yet you treated me so kindly.
One can be kind to a prisoner.
But I hope perhaps you were liking me a little also, Fräulein.
'Twas what any girl would have done in my place, sir.
Then you are not liking me?
I didn't say so, Mr. Max.
Oh, that is good. Then you like me.
But I didn't say that either, sir.
I think you are so lovely, Fräulein.
I think you are overbold, Mr. Max. After all, I know nothing of your character.
Oh, you want to know about my character? Very well. I will tell you. First of all, I was born.
Naturally.
Yeah, naturally. But I start immediately with a good character. The nurses all say, this baby never cries for anything. He's always happy. There must be something wrong with him. And from that time on, I am trying to be happy in many countries. But always, someone tries to make me unhappy.
Yes?
Then later I came to your country where all are pursuing happiness. And here at last I am happy. Fräulein, do you know what makes me happy?
Of course. Your character.
No. It is being here, talking with you, that makes me so...
Please go on telling me about your character.
But I have already told you so much about it. I should much prefer to talk about...
The war?
The war?
Yes, there is a war. Have you forgotten it?
For the moment, yes. When I am with you,
Do you think we shall win, sir?
Natürlich, Fräulein.
It is a comforting thought. And do you think we shall make a great nation, sir?
Most certainly, Fräulein. If the other American ladies are as beautiful, as charming, and as gracious as
then
you
it
are...
is worth all the hardships we endure now.
It is worth all the hardship in the world to me to be here now, to be with you, so close to you. That is worth everything. Fräulein, you are so lovely.
Mr. Max, you mustn't.
Oh, but Liebchen...
I think perhaps we had better read.
Read? Now? Read what?
Here is a book of Mr. Shakespeare's plays. Turn to any part you like and read. Perhaps it will give us a message.
Message? You need a message? Very well. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the buds of May, but thy eternal summer shall not fade. Do you get a message from that, Fräulein?
No, not yet. Read on.
Oh, here. I think perhaps you had better read the next verse.
All right. Happily I think on thee, and then my state, like to the lark at break of day arising.
Any message?
Well, no, not yet. Now your turn.
For thy sweet love remembered, such wealth brings, that then I scorn to change my state with kings. That gave me a message, Fräulein. Now you.
Oh, me. What eyes hath love put in my head to see?
Herzlein, darling.
Hush, Max. 'Tis not right. You mustn't speak like that.
Liebchen, it is our message. Don't be afraid. Since the first day in this house, I have loved you. Do you love me?
I don't know.
But you do know. You love me. It is so, Liebchen.
I don't know what to say, Max.
Now, say this. Say it after me. Say, Max, darling, I love you.
Max, darling, I love you.
Oh, Herzlein, no more running after. For now I have caught it.
Caught what?
I have caught happiness.
The Fleischmann Yeast Hour, of course, with the Continentals, Paul Lukas, Peggy Conklin, Frank Fay, and George Gibbott.
Enter George Gibbott, whose engaging Greek accent has been too long absent from the airways. George has been in Hollywood for some months. Possibly you have seen him with Gene Harlow and Riff Raff. Tonight he returns to us in the role he first brought to this microphone more than 2 years ago. The Greek ambassador of goodwill, proprietor of Acropolis number 7.
Ladies and gentle people of the radium, as I am grazing into your radiator phases through this microphone, I have chosen as my discourse tonight education, the higher types of education. First, I'm going to tell you what I learned in college. It just take a minute. For example, some fellas go to college and they succeed in getting out. Others go to college, they never get out. Those that never get out is called professors. You are often hear the expression college bred. He's college bred, she's college bred, Rudy Vallee is college bred. Sing a song for dear old mommy, shout for the rafters, syringing. College bred. What means that, cracks? College bread is a 4-year loaf. And is made out of dad's dough. Of course, I don't want to have too much crust. Fortunately, I was taking a correspondence course, and I attended the graduation exercise at the post office. Now, I don't have to go to college to go on the radio. Any fool can go on the radio, can they, Rudy?
Yeah. No.
I don't have to go to college to learn what is a nightmare. Nightmare is a milkman's horse. I don't have to go to college to learn why cream costs more than milk. Cream costs more than milk because it's harder for the cow to sit on the little bottles. I don't learn that in college. I don't learn in college what Mark Antony was said to Cleopatra when he visited her tent 2:30 in the morning. What do you suppose Mark Antony was said to Cleopatra when he visited her tent 2:30 in the morning? He have to say something. He don't come to take piano lessons. He don't say to her, to be or not to you. Mark Antony don't say that. Omelette say that. Omelette or some other egg. Speaking about eggs, I opened an egg the other day. It's got 2 yolkies. Can you manage 2 yolkies in 1 egg? That hen is lead a double life. You know, I spent many sleepless nights in college, and in order to fall asleep, I have to count sheep. But that don't work anymore, because last night I tried to fall asleep by counting sheep. I counted 1,258,000 sheep. I packed them and shipped them to Australia and lost $5,000 on the deal. You know, I like to be a G-man, but I'm a G-man already. My name is starts with G. Give it, he give it, she give it. As a matter of fact, I'm a double G-man. George give it. But some people get my initials wrong and they call me an NG man. Yes, sir, college education is a wonderful hunk of stuff. It gives you the opportunity for to express your negative ignorance in positive language. In college, I never learned how to run my restaurant, the Acropolis number 7, tables for ladies open all night, special table for the flies. With a blue plap lunch, which is pink in the daytime and punk at night. With a Western sandwich, which is composed of 2 slices of bread with wide open spaces. I don't learn that in college. What I do learn in college, that the Greeks was great poets. It was one Greek writer who write more poetry as anybody else. Oh, he writes so much stuff. His name let me to see. His name was Anonymous. He's still writing. He write one poem. It's so gorgeous, I must reciprocate that for you. It go like this. 30 days is got September, April, June in Kentucky. All the rest is got I'm not sure, except New York has got Radio City. There's something wrong with that. He write another one. Mary half a little lamb. His fleece is white as snow. And every place Mary is go, she always take the boss. It don't rhyme very good, huh? Well, ladies and gentle people, before I scram, I like to sing my theme song, which I was take from that wonderful picture, Riff Raff on the Bounty, entitled, Yes, He's Done Got No Bananas. Yes, he's got no bananas. He's got no bananas today. We got a roast beef, beef, roast beef, beef, 2 small steak, medium pork, and a beam, sea lime steak, chocolate, or malted milk sandwiches, burr toast, fried 2. Yes, he's got no bananas. He's got no bananas today. We got a roast beef, beef, roast beef, beef, 2 small steak, medium pork, and a beam, sea lime steak, chocolate, or malted milk sandwiches, burr toast, fried 2 nice asparagusi. Maybe you'd rather have the blue flap lunch, huh? But yes, he's got no bananas. He's got no bananas today. I told you, yes, he's got no butter. We got a nice pie, awfully much nice pie. Got a Eskimo pie. We got a fat pie, thick pie, soft pie, tough pie, stiff pie, magpie. He's got a strawberry, bloomberry, apple, peach, pump. In fact, every pie is a little bit pump. He's got charcoal, carcanuts, lemon, grape, mincy. Maybe you'd rather have good old-fashioned gooseberry. But yes, he's got no bananas. He's got no bananas today.
Whose eyes have never seen the notes that he writes. Congratulations for a beautiful melody and thought. Hold me close. Now that we've reached the end of things, now that romance is dead, let us take it as the trend of things. Love once more has fled. Words are weak when love's been strong. Nothing need be said. Just hold me close, even though we've reached the end. Hold me close to your heart. Hold me close. Let me for a while pretend that we're still at the start. Let me dream that you just told me that you love me, and then hold me tightly in your arms and hold me near to you, dear to you. Hold me close. Let me keep this last caress close to me through the years. Since it ends, let it end with tenderness, free from hate, free from tears. So I dream of love's unbroken, and our sad farewells are spoken. Kiss me sweet, hold me close, as a final token, and hold me
Many women wonder themselves why they cry so easily. A young lady here tonight is puzzled about this. Dr. R.E. Lee will listen to her speak and then make some observations on this subject.
I don't understand why I'm such a crybaby. I'm not unhappy. I'm awfully lucky to have such a nice husband and a beautiful baby girl. Just the same, I burst into tears over the least little thing. I'm so ashamed because all the people around me feel so bad. I'd like to know why it is I cry so easily.
Dr. Lee, from your experience as a physician in health research, what would you say about this?
Frequent emotional outbreaks, Mr. McNamee, are an indication of a rundown condition. This woman's nerves are literally hungry for elements not found in sufficient quantity in her ordinary diet. Furthermore, it has been a long time since she has experienced the tonic effect of those hours she used to spend in the summer sunshine, and months must pass before she can get the invigoration of life in the open. Her blood is underfed, her system sluggish. Indeed, we've reached the time of year when few of us are really up to par. All of us need additional help at this time of year, and I suggest including in the diet an important food, Fleischmann's yeast. It contains an abundance of those food elements we need, especially in the winter months. It also aids the digestion, stimulates the sluggish system, feeds hungry nerves, and supplies an abundance of the sunshine vitamin D. Try Fleischmann's yeast for a few weeks, 3 cakes every day, and see how much better you will feel.
eyes. In a flash I felt a thrill I never knew, a feeling that was too divine. Hypnotized, you never saw a person so surprised. All at once I knew that life would hold no charms till you were in these arms of mine. I couldn't wait till the dancing had ended. It seemed as though it never would be through. I felt that my whole life depended on meeting you. Here we are, two hearts in love, and how sincere we are. I've discovered what I never realized. It's heaven to be hypnotized. No doubt read in the papers, we are to have Frank Fay with us for some weeks to come. Being held over is an old habit of Frank's. He established a record at the Palace Theater back in the days before vaudeville's center of gravity shifted from that tradition-haunted show house to our variety theater here in Radio City. If Mr. Fay will please emerge.
Good evening. Thank you, Rudy. Thank you. Say, this is swell. This looks like a steady job. But I know why they gave you the job, because I do little things around the place, you know. Like tonight, did you notice that they said the octet? I was in on it. I was two of it. And then the clinking of the glasses when he says, Judy, fix up something for the boys. That was me. I clinked the glasses. And I'm really helpful around the place, little things. And I enjoyed everything tonight. Well, everything's been great. No mistakes. And everything. I generally make the only mistakes. But it was great. I love that play, Pursuit of Happiness. I like that. Chasing Happiness. I've been trying to find it for years, but I'll catch up with it. It's good, too. The man that was in that and the lady, they were fine. Paul Lucas, he's a swell fellow, you know, Hollywood. He's one of the fellows I talk to out there. One of the fellows that answers me, but the lady, Miss Conklin, she was delightful. I think the story's so pretty. I had a chance in that tonight, too. They were going to put me in that. They call it the bundling bed or something. I believe it's the colonial days. That was the custom. If too many people come, they just bundle the bed up. They had it all fixed for me to be the bundle, but I knew that it'd mean nothing on the air, so I didn't take that. But it's been fun. I like Lucas, and I like that story, too, and it's so pretty. That's really nice, that angle of reading a book to a girl and have her read it to you. Whenever I'm in a spot like that, the only book around is a phone book. You know? Can you imagine picking up the phone book and saying to the girl, Bryant, 725492. She tops in, comes right back with Algonquin 8911411820. And you just keep answering back and forth the numbers until finally they give the number of the crazy house, and the man with the white coat comes over and gets you. But I wouldn't be interested in that. As you no doubt, there's many things here, but seriously tonight, Rudy, I wouldn't for a minute have you get in the idea that I don't like the shows you put on here. I used to listen almost every week out in California. And I want to tell you now, publicly, that you had some mighty fine programs I've often listened in, and I've envied your great ability. Particularly your versatility, Rudy. And the way you do so many things so well, really.
Thank you, Frank. And that coming from you emboldens me to try something I've often wanted to do in the air. I know a funny story.
Oh, yeah. Well. You mean you want to tell a funny story, Rudy? Sort of get a laugh like and all?
That's it. You don't mind if I use up a little of your time, do you?
Oh, no. Bless your heart. Go ahead, right ahead.
Okay, here goes. Once upon a time, there was a little girl...
Just a second, Rudy. Are you sure that this is a funny story? I mean, have you told it before?
Oh, here and there. Now, once
here
upon
and there. That's very good. About how funny would you rate it if you gave it a rating? How funny?
Well, Frank, if I may use the vernacular, you bust when I tell this story.
What will happen to me?
You bust.
In the vernacular, of course.
Yes.
Very well, but if you don't mind, I'd like to just open this coat, Rudy, on account of a fellow let me have it. He wanted me to look good, and I wouldn't want to do anything. Go right ahead now.
Once upon a time, there was a little girl who had the very bad habit of getting her face dirty every time she went out to play.
Mm-hmm.
And when this little girl got her face dirty, her mother would get very angry. So one day her mother said, "Mary," she said...
The little girl's name was Mary.
Yes.
That's an odd name, isn't it? But don't mind me, Rudy. Go right ahead.
Well, one day her mother said, "Mary," she said...
Rudy, I wonder if the radio audience wouldn't rather like to know the mother's name, too. I mean, as long as they know the little girl. Don't you think it'd be a sort of nice...
It's of no consequence.
Of no consequence. That's a mighty pretty name.
No. I mean, it might have been anything. Molly, Prudence, Elizabeth, Florence, anything.
Couldn't have been Anastasia, could it?
Yes, anything. Where was I?
Oh, you want me to tell you? In the vernacular.
I think I'd better start over.
All right.
Once upon a time, there was a little girl who made her mother angry because she always got her face dirty. So one day her mother said, "Mary, if you come home with your face dirty today, Mom'll kill you."
Anastasia said that to Mary? Think of that. Tisket, tisket, tisket.
And so the little girl went out, and she did get her face dirty, and so when she came home... Are you ready?
Oh, is this where the busting happens? Finally. Go right ahead, Rudy.
And so when she came home, her mother killed her.
Is that your story, Rudy?
Yes.
You sure there's nothing you've left out of your care to alter or change now?
No.
That's absolutely the finish.
That is.
There's no more?
No.
Thanks. I want to tell you, Rudy, you saw the condition your story has left me in. I have one for you, Rudy, and mine will cripple you. Mine is all about a man and his son. They're driving along a country road on a wagon. And the father turned to his son, and he said, "Sonny, Sonny." Of course, he was familiar with his own son. Said, "Son, I see a penny lying on the..." Oh, first of all, he said, "Woe to the horse." I wanted to say. He stopped it right there. And after he stopped, he said, "Sonny, I see a penny laying inanimate, laying on the road. Now, Daddy wants you to get down off the wagon, pick up the penny, get back on the wagon, and hand it to Daddy." Simple, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, it was, yes. What do you think the boy said?
I don't know.
He said, "No, Father, I won't get down offen the wagon."
Offen the wagon?
Yes, he was a small boy, and he didn't speak so good. So the father thought it over for an hour or so, and finally he made up his mind, and he got down, and he picked up the penny himself. He got back on the wagon, and he spoke to the horse in front of the wagon as follows, which means in horse to proceed. "Well, sir, They're driving along for about, I should say 30 or 40 kilometers when they came to an oldish sort of a girl.
An oldish sort of a girl?
Yes. The maiden was antique. And she was selling cherries. Well, beautiful, red, luscious cherries for a penny. Think of it, Rudy, 1 penny.
Cheap. Cheap.
Who?
The cherries.
Oh, yeah. Rudy, what do you think the boy did this time?
I don't know.
The boy reiterated.
In front of his father?
In front of his father. Well, by this time, the father of the son was he was nonplussed. He was. Mm-hmm. He could be that way. He was the oldest. So lo and behold, what should happen? But the father got down off the wagon. Oh, he said, woe to the horse again. He bought the cherries and he got back on the wagon again and encouraged the horses as before. Well, so they're driving along a short distance when suddenly the son turned to his father and he said, Father. See, he was kind of putting it on for the old man. He wanted to, the con. He wanted to get back in. So he said, Father, can I have some of those cherries? And the father said, Son, I shouldn't give you those. It's the same fellow, different voice. Can you tell? Takes your breath away, I know. He said, Son, I shouldn't give you those cherries, but I will, just to teach you a lesson. And the boy ate cherries. And would you believe me, Rudy, that boy grew up to be a lovely man and had 2 beautiful children, and he didn't care whether they got their face dirty or not.
Thank you. You sing too, don't you?
Woo-woo-woo! See, nothing is sacred here, not even my woo-woo-woo-woo being stolen. Well, I do sing, as a matter of fact. I like to.
Frank, the songwriters aren't very fond of the way you've been tearing their songs apart recently.
No, really? Think of that.
They say it's the intent of the song that counts. You see, you've made light of their most serious efforts. They claim it's much more difficult to be serious than it is to be frothy.
Frothy? Those hounds call Fay a frothy fellow?
They most certainly do, and they suggest that instead of making light of a serious song, that you try being serious with a light song.
You mean to make something gladsome, make it sadsome?
That's it. You think you can do it?
I can try. Suppose you play something frothy.
All right, we'll try this.
Well, Rudy, this is the usual thing. It's a verse, and nobody ever pays any attention to a verse. It's kind of a tragedy. It happened on the side street when a fellow went ring on his sweetheart's doorbell. He saw the shades were down. He knew his girl was down. And then he listened to a neighbor, very accommodating, who had this to tell him. They always do. And he doesn't live here anymore. You must be the one she waited for. She said, I would know you by the blue in your eyes. Checkered suit, yes, fancy vest, and polka dot tie. You answer to that description, so I guess that you're the guy. Well, your Annie doesn't live here anymore. Annie doesn't live here anymore. Say, it's too bad you didn't call before. You know that she bought a gown that ties with ribbons above. Brand new shoes, pretty hat, and the latest style glove. But she really looks so alluring, and just waiting for your love. But your Annie doesn't live here anymore. It was spring, there was romance in the air, and everything seemed for loving hearts to share, and there was she, just as lonely and as blue as she could be. And that's the reason Annie doesn't live here anymore. It might have been your picture that she tore. She was oh so faithful, what a pitiful sight. She waited for that letter that you promised to write. But a gentleman with a high hat called around the other night. Now Annie doesn't live here anymore. Say, it is spring, all right, lady. There's romance in the air and everything. I just come around to ring the bell. I always thought I could call on any time, and she'd always wait for me. But I guess I kind of went to the well once too often and busted my picture. Her picture. Annie doesn't live here anymore. Yes, lady, I guess that was my picture that she tore. She was faithful. And she's perfectly right. Why didn't I send that letter that I promised to write? So there's a guy with a high hat, and he comes around every night. Well, that doesn't make any difference. The only thing that counts is that my Annie doesn't live here anymore.
Rhythmatic from Joe Penner's picture Collegiate. The Ford Smith left Kathia Collis, winner of the WLAP Lexington, Kentucky Amateur Radio Contest, sponsored by the Lions, to do a Fred Astaire. Here we go.
Ready for your class in rhythmatic. Gotta try to pass in rhythmatic.
Anyone can do it, there's nothing to it, and you add it to your dancing menu.
It'll drive you crazy, rhythmatic. Do it kind of lazy, rhythmatic.
It's a bit of trucking, you raise your shoulder and you strut, you dip, you glide, and then you walk a little bit. Talk a little bit. Talk of love and romance.
But if by chance you think of it, dance.
Everybody's doing it, rhythmatic.
There is something new in rhythmatic.
Every little co-ed is slipping a hip with her bow.
And oh, it's so delightful. Say, Professor, yes sir, gotta do that rhythmatic. In every fraternity and sorority, you'll discover the great majority are rehearsing to do the new collegiate rhythm.
They say that it's sensational, terrific, and educational. Fans will soon be boom boom in it. It's got that zoom 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 in it.
First you have the bass beat, the steady beat. Add a tricky rhythm to tickle your feet. It's a bit of truck and you raise your shoulder and you strut. You dip, you glide, and then you walk a little bit. Talk a little bit. Talk of love and romance. But if by chance you think of it, then do it kind of lazy, rhythmatic. It'll drive you crazy. It'll drive you crazy, rhythmatic. It's a bit of truck and you raise your shoulder and you strut. You dip, you glide, and then you walk a little bit. Talk a little bit. Talk of love and romance.
man doesn't care much about money for himself, but he does want money for his family. That's why it's always such an event when a family man gets a raise. Often it means these things.
Jane, it'll mean we can pay the rent on the first of the month again, and you can get that coat you've been needing, and Junior can have the skates he's been teasing for, and we can go out to a show whenever we want. And at that, I haven't been working as hard as I did last year. Things have been coming easier for me, that's all. And I know why, all right. It's because I feel better. I'm not so run down anymore.
It's hard to get things done when you're low in energy and feel tired all the time. You can't do justice to yourself, no matter how hard you try or how many extra hours you put in. That sagged-out feeling that often comes in midwinter is usually a sign your nerves and muscles are not getting enough nourishment from your blood. However, when you eat Fleischmann's yeast, the digestive organs become more active, do their work better. Then more nourishment from your food is carried by your blood to your nerves and muscles. You get a glorious feeling of well-being. Your spirits are better. You have energy to spare. You do more work, better work, and with less effort. Eating Fleischmann's yeast has helped millions to get rid of that run-down condition. Begin tomorrow. Eat one cake a half hour before each meal. For best results, do this faithfully every single day.
Next week, a notable cast including Edward G. Robinson, Lawrence Stallings, and, of course, frothy Frank Fay. This is Rudy Vallee bidding you all good night.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.